Hey, this is Mark with Comic Experience Sci-Fi. I'm here with Dustin and Mike of the Astronomicon fame. How you guys doing?
Very well. How are you? Good.
I'm doing really well myself. Tell me, how did you guys get started into doing these cons?
Okay, you want me to do it first? It really breaks down to us and Twisted and George. Just liked going to conventions. Like, it's something we all grew up on. It's something that we enjoy doing ourselves in our personal time. And it got to a point where we figured, hey, you know what the heck? I think we can pull one of these off, and I think we'll make it better than anything we've been to thus far. So we set out to do that, and we're here in year 6, and you can see from our lineup this year that it's actually going very well.
Yeah, well, for kind of being kind of sort of newcomers to the convention game here, you guys have brought in some really impressive guests. How did you guys pull that off?
That's all Mike over there.
Newcomers, at what point are we no longer new? It's Astro 6. We never missed a beat. We had one pre-pandemic. We had one after the pandemic.
I wouldn't even say pre-pandemic. It's just before it happened. It happened February, the second weekend of February in 2020.
Yeah, so we were the only convention to happen in Michigan in 2020, just by happenstance. And the guests that we get is a combination of 3 things: luck, hard work, and
persistence.
The way that we present ourselves at our show. I feel like we do a very good job of accommodating our guests, taking care of them, making sure they know we're there for them, treating them like the celebrities they are, and just kind of providing a fun, all-inclusive atmosphere for everyone.
I agree with that.
So we all know that Motor City Nightmares has been around for a while. Now, was that the convention that you felt that you guys could try to, I don't want to say compete, but use as a model for your shows?
Not at all. No.
I live in Novi. George, the third pillar coordinator of the behind the scenes stuff, he lived in Northville. He loved Motor City Nightmares. I love Motor City Comic-Con. I'm more pop culture, wrestling. He's more horror. And so we've seen them both for, Motor City Comic-Con's 30 years deep. Nightmares is 10, 12 years deep, possibly longer. We, because of the Twisted music side of things, we were guests at Walker Stalker. We were guests at Days of the Dead. And truly, Days of the Dead is where we fully got our concept from.
Where we understood it at that point.
Yeah, that's when we're like, we could do this. From there in 2017, I went to Grand Rapids Comic-Con. We went to Great Lakes Comic Expo, or Great Lakes Comic-Con.
Or how we went to...
So we went to a dozen shows in the Michigan Midwest area and took what we thought were the best parts and kind of put that together and presented Astronomicon.
Because we wanted Astronomicon to be the best. Like, that's what we pride ourselves on. We want to be the best. We want to give the fans the best experience. We want the guests to go away every year being like, I've never been to a convention that treated me so well or just had everything on point. And that's what we strive for. The best experience that you could possibly get from all sides of it.
Well, when you're the convention goer to the celebrity to the venue,
even to our volunteers and employees, like, we want to make sure everyone is taken care of. This is an experience. This isn't just, something we're like, let's throw our hat in the game and see if we do it. We knew we could do it. It was just a matter of how we were going to do it.
So you have a lot of vendors there. What are some of your favorite vendors that come to your show and set up?
State of Comics.
Any comics for sure.
They're a
Nirvana.
local comic book store, Plymouth, Michigan. We've done a lot of stuff with them. Done some in stores with them. We brought Darby Allen and Jake the Snake to their store.
Yep.
They're huge, great variety, comics, toys.
Pokemon cards, which is why they're my friends.
Other vendors, Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana has been there since
year one.
inception, and they have a huge booth, and it really goes to a lot of our fans with the toys and whatnot that they like to come out for.
Source Point Press is another one.
Yeah.
Michigan-based comic book publisher that also publishes Haunted Ions, which is Twisted's comic book.
But even going off of some of that, like there's certain artists and things that I like to see too. I think it's Morbid Curiosities. Has a lot of kind of taxidermy stuff, like weirder in the horror realm, but kind of in the gothic realm too, which I kind of enjoy that stuff. I bought a snake in a little jar last year from him, and he's been there, I want to say, since year 2. And
Zachariah?
Yeah, Zachariah's Morbid Curiosities.
Inception.
Yeah, and since inception. So yeah, I do like going by and seeing that.
Love about our we'll say 80% of our vendors took a chance on us year one when we were brand new to the game. Nobody had ever heard of us.
Yeah.
And so we have that loyalty to them to always offer them the space.
You took the chance, so we're gonna make sure that you guys are always taken care of first before we ever bring in a new vendor or something like that. So yeah, we definitely have ties to 80% of our vendors. Like, we know them all. It's almost like a little family of it now. You just walk in for, oh, hey Bob, how you doing? Oh, good to see you, Chris. And it's the same people every year, but somehow still seem to bring something new to the table every year. Yeah, they all want to do that too. Like, oh no, I got something cool I made just for Astro this year. Like, oh, that's awesome, man. I like hearing that. Special T-shirts or collectibles or something that they themed around Astro, and I think that's pretty cool.
I hear CGC is going to be there with State of Comics to help people send in their submissions to get graded.
State of Comics is an authorized BGC facilitator, so they can witness autographs on comic books and get you that prestigious yellow label. They will submit your books for grading. They will handle everything top to bottom, ship it to CGC, and have it shipped directly back to your house.
Heck, I have some stuff that I might take with me to your show.
Yeah, right? Like, that's a good come up. And that's one of the main reasons that we, again, keep doing this and always try to get better. And in previous years, we've had CBCS. Shout out to Cody Lockwood. He will be in Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con that weekend.
Oh, really? I didn't know Emerald was that same weekend.
But yeah, CGC, I'm excited. I also just locked in JSA so they can witness and authenticate autographs on site for non-comic related items.
Toys and such.
Correct, sir.
Pretty much anything that's not a comic.
Non-comic related items.
Good.
So getting to the events you guys have planned, what do you have new this year that you haven't had in the past?
I don't know that we've dropped the new ones yet.
What new ones would
New events?
dropped?
New events?
What new ones would we imagine? Everything's been dropped. We dropped it all.
Oh, well, you were talking the other day like we had something else.
No, so last year we did Brews with Blaze for the first time.
Successfully.
We did Movie Night with Twisted for the first time.
Super hit.
What we do is we find things that work and see if there's ways to improve or expand upon them. Brews with Blaze last year was just hanging out, playing some games,
It was a pre-party before the doors open.
We've added concerts to that. So for free, for anybody, Astronomicon or not, from 2 to 5 at Burke Manor, there's free concerts. It's a free event. Come in. You can get drinks. You can hang out. It's just making it bigger and better.
The drinks are not free. Yes, the concert is free. The event is free.
Entry is free.
but the drinks are not free. I want to make that clear. Yeah, Mike said there was free drinks.
And then, moving on with Twisted, right? It's sponsored by Imagine Entertainment. So, Royal Oak, Novi, Canton, those movie theaters provide free popcorn to everybody in attendance. It is free. It is a late night hangout party style event where we'll be playing.
It's Dream Warriors. Friday, or I'm sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
And so that'll just be another thing that we have going.
It's basically the concept of it is movies that Twisted those are their favorites. Those are my go-tos. I've seen it 80 times. And you go in there and you're with your friends and you get a little bit of commentary from them, and it's almost like watching it with the
Riff tracks.
Yeah, with the tracks on, but it's Jamie and Jamie and Paul. Yeah, 100%.
So you brought up Burton Manor. Now, I know you guys were there last year, and this is your third venue you guys been to. How did you guys come to finally laying there?
They called us. So we would have not left the Sterling,
the Wyndham. Yeah, we wouldn't have left.
They made it cold. We love that venue. We love that staff. We love the East Side. There was just so many fun things and memories, and just
that was home. That was home.
So coming out of COVID, unfortunately, they are no longer there. They're actually in the process of demolishing most of the building. We decided, hey, let's try to
let's move it. Let's
a little bit.
See where we can go.
So we ended up in Ann Arbor. That was really corporate and not our style. They didn't care about the event. They didn't care about us. It was very cold. And so we knew,
as much as we cared about it, you could tell that like you're gonna tell me whatever I want to hear until it happens, and then you're just like, yep, I don't care. Like, oh, that's to whereas the Wyndham was always like, no, like we need to make this happen. We need to make things right. We need to whatever it may be,
We care about the fans and the attendees, and we want to partner, not
just rent it out.
Yeah, and then we get vibes from front desk staff, and when you have front desk staff treating the attendees less than hospitable, it's obvious they don't want you there.
He's being nice about it, but
I am. So I actually had a baby shower at the Wyndham, or at the Burton Manor in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought I would do anything there. Didn't think it was as big as it is. The owner, reached out to us, said, hey, I'd love to have your event here. We went there, and it was George and I, and we were floored. And then
amazing space.
Dustin came to town, and it was sectioned off. And he got there, he's like, this isn't big. And I thought, oh, just wait.
I didn't see it. I couldn't vision it because they close it all off into 6, 7, 8 different rooms. And he just walked me through, and I'm like, honest, man, I don't know. I don't know that I'm feeling this one.
I was not there the Wednesday to put the tables together.
When everything was open, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I like this.
And so, yeah, it is really nice. And I could cram more vendors in. I could cram more artists in. I could make it 8-foot aisles and make it, nuts to butts. We have a lot of room there.
That makes it less fun.
100%. I hate it when it's like table, human being, table, and there's no room to walk, and you're waiting to like awkwardly.
If I have to sidestep someone and my belly rubs any part of anybody, I'm disgusted with myself. I'm like, there's too many people. There's not enough space. So that was definitely something that we all decided, like, we need bigger aisles. We need,
and so we left them at 12 to 15-foot aisles, 18 to 20 in certain spaces. And last year I noticed there was a little bit of a tightness in the artist area, so we changed that around for this year. It's all about seeing what we can improve on.
Growth, improvement, and overall experience.
But, Bird Manor's our home, and we love them. They're great people. And we'll see everybody there next week.
Next week? Oh, why'd you even say that?
It's coming up. Now tell me, you guys have another stellar lineup coming here with the guests. How did you guys go about grabbing the whole Kevin Smith gang, USQ universe people? How did that come about?
Well, that's something that Mike has been
My dream.
trying to get this almost since inception. I know first year he knew he couldn't bite off that, but Mike wanted that.
The twisted side of things. We were guests at Walker Stalker this week, like this last 3 days, 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all AMC guests. So comic book men were there. It was Ming, it was Mike, and Brian. And I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. Love Clerks 2 was my favorite of all.
Tusk.
Dogma, Mallrats.
Oh, Mallrats. Such a good one.
So Chasing Amy.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, I was like, I'm going to go meet the comic book men guys. And I didn't even have my wallet with me. Only Ming was there. We start shooting the breeze, find out he's from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. We just talk it up. And so once Twisted was like, we got to have a con, I'm like, well, if it's pop culture, comic book men, we should have Ming Chen there. And so he was like my first guest where I'm like, let's book him. We booked him. It turned into a really good situation where he became friends with us almost immediately. Then we...
Most hospitable person ever. Yeah, he's super friendly. He came and did the radio show and all that with us.
Yeah. And then we got lucky enough that we were the first ever convention to book Jeff Anderson with Ryan O'Halloran.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ryan O'Halloran and Jamie's year one. They were like late additions the week of our event when we had lost a couple of guests. And so, again,
It was
when I say luck plays a part, it's because we were the first convention of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We booked Jeff Anderson, and thankfully, we
He had
did
a-
a good job.
He had a great experience. Yeah.
So now you've got Ming and Brian and Jay and Jeff, all like, oh, they do a nice job. We like that convention. And
Like, Kevin, come on.
then so
Just go.
Ming, since year one, like my goal to like, we made it is to have Kevin.
Yeah.
And so once he started doing them, coming out of the pandemic, he did a bunch of fan expos. I saw him doing the Clerks convenience tour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's try.
Let's get and try. Let's try.
And so it came together where I'm like, let's book Clerks, let's book Ming, let's go and book Harley Quinn Smith because I feel like that could be fun. And again, it fits the mold, even if Kevin isn't available. And then Trevor and Austin signed on. And then the agent was like, you guys want to go for Kevin? Let's do it. And then we fell into Jason Lee.
Which I am super excited for. You said Jason Lee. I'm like, no way. I know you're a huge Kevin mark, but Jason Lee, like, still in the Kevin universe, was always one that I thought was cool back in the day. So I'm very excited.
There's another one. On the
Hey, him
was a road fan. So I'm like, let's try to get him even before Jason Lee was on the table. And so we'll be Jason Lee's second ever convention, first in the Midwest.
Yep.
And here we are.
And it's gonna be a good one.
And with these guys, it could be your gateway to get Matt Damon and Ben Affleck one day.
You know, he's talking Astro 7, and I like it. All right.
And honestly, we've been trying to get Joey Lauren Adams for a couple of years,
We have.
reaching out to the AG, just discussing, seeing when it would work. What a perfect year, right? For that to come through as well.
Absolutely, stars aligned on that one. And I like, we could talk about it all we want. Like, there hasn't been a more exciting year than this year. Like,
You got
through the hallways of our offices, it's just like, and everybody's super prepared this year. Like, everything is done way in advance than we would normally have it done. Like, no, we're going to be on point. It's like,
I
yeah.
could agree with that.
I agree with it. I see he doesn't agree with it because he always thinks, "Oh, wait, no, we're behind." Like, no, we're not behind, man. We're good. It's going good. So,
Like, if you could see my desk, it is a clutter of just
I would always looks like that.
papers and nervousness.
Yes, I can smell the nervousness.
Hey, let's also talk about some of your other guests. You got John Lovitz coming in. I mean, does he?
That's a bucket list on him. He needed that.
Just little personal fun things that we do, even if nobody else cares. But I think
We care.
the stuff that we're into is kind of the stuff that a lot of the Astronomicon attendees are into. And so that's why it's kind of easy for us to put these together from a guest standpoint, because it's like whatever we may think is cool, someone else is going to think is cool. And John Lovitz is like a sleeper, right? Like,
Yeah, super sleeper.
yeah.
Yeah, you are going to get a lot of people from like the 80s that are going to show up to this because, yeah, that a lot of SNL fans, and I'm excited to see him.
The 90s too with the critic. That was a cartoon I for sure watched.
And his best roles are all
He was on Seinfeld.
a league of their own.
Oh my God, he was in a League of Their Own.
He was the scout.
Oh,
Hi, friends,
it was on Friends.
tartlets.
And he had the great character on Saturday Night Live. The guy, I forgot his name. He was the liar. He was like, yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, he's a sleeper for this show.
We always do well with horror.
Mm-hmm.
And we always do well with wrestling.
Trish Stratus.
Trish Stratus.
Come on.
ECW. I'm excited for that.
Sandman.
reunion.
Yep.
But yeah, so going back to it, like, that's why Nightmares, Motor City Comic Con, we don't really follow those molds because we combine all the fandoms into one. We have a great selection of horror. We have a great selection of wrestling, pop culture.
I would say they all have their part in a shaping of what we saw Astro to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was. We wanted all your best parts, all the things that you knocked out of the park. We're like, oh man, that's great. All the things we feel that you did not knock out of the park, that's what we moved on. Like, nope, we want nothing but excellence. We want nothing but the perfect moment, the perfect experience, the perfect weekend. You know?
Yeah. Another thing I like to see at a lot of these cons is the cosplayers. Now, you have the contest, obviously. What is the prizes that you're giving away for the cosplay contests?
Go ahead.
For the kids, every kid who enters the kids cosplay contest walks away with something, just because they all spend time and effort and put themselves out there, and they should be rewarded for their efforts. The top three obviously get, first place gets a huge bag of goodies.
Yeah.
Obviously, second and third place are getting something as well. For the adults, we give away cash. First place is
$300.
cash.
Yeah.
Second place is 2. Third place is 1. And I feel we have a phenomenal cosplay contest and program because of Disusual Studio.
Absolutely. Ashley is amazing at what she does. She's an amazing cosplayer, and she's been in since inception too.
Yep. So she came to the first Astronomicon as just a fan.
Yes.
Yep. And just was
Kind of took it by the reins. Like we asked her for her help, I believe, on the cosplay contest.
for year 2.
That was year 2.
Yeah. So she came year 1 just as a fan, loved it, reached out, said, hey, I like what you guys are doing. And I would see her at conventions, and then we just kind of,
I like what you can do, and I think I can help.
she made it tenfold better.
100%.
Then we have the Guardians of Hope. They are another cosplay group. They'll be on site. We have had the Ghostbusters since before year 1.
That's true.
I was a fan of theirs, just seeing them at conventions, even when they would just wander around. And then we have the Finest, the G.I. Joe cosplay group as well. And then a plethora of other random cosplayers that are coming from all over to show their stuff.
Yes, I agree.
So you guys obviously are growing every year. Where do you guys see yourself in the future in terms of venues and
Honestly, it's the hardest part is finding a bigger venue.
Finding a bigger venue that is not another.
Como Hall.
All right, just
So
let's give me my money and I don't care.
yeah, and I think that Birdman will be our home for a couple of years. Once we have an issue there and I'll grow it, that'll be a discussion we'll have to have.
Some we're gonna have to, some we're gonna have to cross when we get there. But Burton is our home for now.
do you guys have any like bucket list celebrities that you can discuss on who you'd like to have attend in the
Of
future?
course, they're not necessarily
Right? I would love to get Jerry Seinfeld. I would love to have him there, but I'm not paying his money for that, and I don't even think he would come out for it.
So a realistic one that Dustin and I are both a fan of, John Leguizamo.
Oh, that's a bucket list. That is both mine and his, like, almost number one. Like, we need him here.
I would love to have Jonah Hill or McLovin,
Okay.
just because I'm a fan.
Well, I'd take McLovin. Jonah Hill, I think, again, another unattainable. Like,
No Michael Cera.
I like Michael Cera, but I don't.
Got to get Emma Stone too. Come on.
I would love Emma Stone.
They're touchable.
Let's have all. Right? Yeah. Let's get them all. We're gonna get De Niro there too. Come on,
I guess to go to the point where Sir
Tom Hanks. Let's get him in here.
Yeah. Actor that you're not gonna touch. Yeah, I'm sure 100%. Not gonna get a Tom Cruise, and you're not gonna get, Brand.
No, but there's a realistic bucket list, and then there's obviously everybody's whole.
You're not gonna get right.
Whatever, right? But yeah, John Leguizamo is realistic and on our list. Cassandra Peterson, she was just in Michigan last year. Alice Cooper, same thing, both realistic and on our lists. Bruce Campbell's on our list.
Bruce Campbell's been on our list for a bit. Yeah, we would love to have him.
Hello, in April. So yeah, I mean, we've got lists and ideas, and I mean, we've already discussed who our headliners could be for next year, to the point where we talked about it this week. So
there's always thoughts of how can we get it bigger and better next year.
I have suggestions too. So,
well, let's hear them. What do you got?
I mean, I was a big fan of the Stuart Gordon movies from the '80s. With Jeffrey Combs playing Herbert West in the Reanimator movies, and then From Beyond. Barbara Crampton was in both of those movies. I would love to see like some kind of reunion with those two movies, since they did have like two actors that were in both. Ken Foree was also in From Beyond. There's one reunion I was always fantasizing about, but would be the Stephen King TV movie Salem's Lot. There's not too many of those actors still around. You still have David Soul and Bonnie Bedelia. One of them just passed away a few weeks ago. Lance Kerwin, who played the young man in the movie, Mark Petrie. And I believe the two guys that played the Glick Boys are still alive, but then most of the other actors are all passed on because they were much older when the movie was made. But that's one of those reunion movies I would have loved to have seen. I know they've done reunions for like Aliens and Return of the Living Dead. I would like to see you got Doug Bradley showing up for this one. I would have liked to have seen more of a reunion of those Hellraiser actors with Andrew Robinson and Ashley Lawrence. There's so many. And you think that like a Thing, John Carpenter's Thing reunion. Now he's another one. John Carpenter. Would you be able to?
He's definitely on the list.
We reached out.
We would love to see like some of those guys from that. A lot of those guys are still alive from the Thing. So, I mean, obviously you're not going to probably get Kurt Russell, but there's a lot of the supporting actors on.
Don't say never. We are Astronomicon.
We're in.
All right.
Well, I hope I'm wrong.
I know Kurt. I'll text him and see if he'll come out. He's just a busy man.
Get him. And some of the other actors like Keith David and Richard Masser, he was just at Motor City Nightmares last year.
we'll go.
And if there's a few of the other guys, I believe TK Carter, he's,
Mhm.
and then a few of the other actors. I can't think of their names. I know Wilford Brimley's not with us anymore, or Donald Moffat. But
I would have loved to have Wilford Brimley.
Or
just to get him to say diabetes,
Right. Can you comb your mustache for me and look at me discerningly? Like,
I wanted to go swimming with him like Cocoon.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that would have been a cool event. Now that's the kind of event you guys have to set up, where you create a scene from one of the celebrity favorite movies.
Swimming with Brimley.
Wait, is Kohlberg in that version?
Gutenberg is too.
It's
Kohlberg's still around. We do a beast.
Swimming with Gutenberg.
Even I think Raquel Welch's daughter, who just recently passed away, Raquel, daughter played with Tawny Welch, was the female love interest alien in Cocoon.
Oh, okay.
She's still around. I don't believe.
No, so I'm following a lot of conventions, and I'm more of a pop culture wrestling guy versus horror. But I saw one, I think in Pennsylvania, where it was a Perfect Strangers reunion.
Oh, wow.
That's a good show.
If you're a late 80s, early 90s sitcom,
That is niche. That is.
Balky Bartopoulos.
Oh, I would love to be Balky.
Oh yeah.
So like,
I forgot the actor's name who played his roommate in it, but he
Mhm.
played She-Hulk's father in the new She-Hulk movie.
oh yeah,
Oh,
The She-Hulk show.
the lawyer show.
I think it's Mark.
Mark, yeah.
Yeah.
I just could never remember his name because he was the least famous of the two.
Oh, absolutely. He's cousin Larry.
And he wasn't in Beverly Hills Cop.
Wow, touche.
You know who else I've been trying to reach out and get lines on forever to get Deborah Jo Rupp and Kurtwood Smith. Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
Kurtwood Smith would work because of RoboCop.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's
And it was in
like, I just get all of that 70s show like Mia, fucking Ash. Come on, give them to me. I need them all.
Kurtwood Smith was also in Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country. Played the president of the Federation, the guy that Kirk saves at the end.
Uh-huh.
That was Kurtwood Smith on Jamaica.
Minimal. I know my dad used to watch Star Trek, so I know minimal. I know references.
Okay.
Yeah, he would be a great one to do too. I mean, there's so many actors. You just have to do the
Every
research.
month, if I had the means and just knock them all out.
We got the drive to do it. We don't have the means to do it. Once a year, that is what you get.
It's a lot of stress.
It is.
Now you guys aren't going to do the two shows a year like the Motor City Comic Con has been doing lately.
I would honestly love to. I've suggested it a couple times. I suggest we take it on tour, but like we all have real jobs in the real life. So
I mean, this is very much real.
oh, I'm not downgrading what this is.
You too.
I mean, yes, we do.
Also, from a operation standpoint and their structure, we also assist in putting on the Silver Screen Convention for Ice Mine Kills in Boston, in
Danvers.
Danvers, Massachusetts. So,
All the Boston people are going to be like, Danvers isn't Boston, all right? Get it right or pay the price.
well, no, doing two in Michigan with everything else that's going on, like you said, you've got Motor City doing two. You've got
Michigan
Great
shows out with
Great Lakes
convention.
is this weekend.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Great Lakes, he does like four shows a year, two,
Yeah.
like three small ones and then one big one.
Yeah, and so he's got the big one this weekend, then we've got Astro next weekend, and then Motor City Nightmares of like left.
Stop saying Astros next weekend. It's terrifying. Next weekend?
And then, yeah, I know the Motor City Comic Con's doing two, right? They're going to do May 19th, 2021, and October.
That's both Nightmares?
Well,
Or is that?
Comic Con. Those are the big boys.
Oh, shit.
Plus, there's YolaCon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know if I could cuss on there.
I know that's not like Metro Detroit, but when you look at Michigan as a whole, there's Capital City.
A 2-hour drive ain't nothing.
Really cool con in Flint.
No.
There's really cool. There's C4, Cherry Capital Comic Con, Traverse City. It's just a lot, and I feel like if we focus our energy on one, I'd rather have everybody come to one then split our attendance between two. Because I don't think we're going to double.
At least until the point where like it's seeming to outgrow. So you're like, well, maybe if I do 2 a year, I can split that because more people, you know, it'll be something different.
Some people go to bowl, some people pick and
It
choose.
will probably get to that at some point, probably sometime in the next 10 years, to be realistic.
Oh, let's say 5 years. Let's say 5 years.
Sure.
Probably 5.
Probably 5. If we keep going at the pace that we're going and with the drive that we have, I'd say 5 years easily. Because even at the Wyndham, at year 3, we knew we're like we might have to not even might have to. We're going to have to move. We knew, but that's a good problem to have.
Well, I don't mean to cut everything short here. It was a pleasure to speak with you guys. You know, and again, your show is March 3rd to the 5th at Burton Manor in Livonia. And Dustin and Mike, it was again pleasure to speak with you guys. And this is Mark with Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi.
Thank you for having us, brother.